OLL Show. My name is John and I am joined as usual by Mike and Jack. Hello chaps.
Hello.
Excellent. Hello. And tonight, it's a special occasion. It is a special Valentine's edition of the OLL Show because we're going to be talking about the best and or worst and or cringiest romances in video games. We'll probably have to take some slight tangents and talk about just general relationships, not necessarily just romantic ones, but a bit of everything we will go through tonight. But before we get to that, let's check in and see how my co-hosts are getting on. How are you, Jack? How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good. Just been beavering away at life. Car got sorted.
Yay! Good news.
On Friday. So, we managed to actually drive it, but there's still this weird noise that it's got. So I've got it booked in a garage on this Friday. But it drives, which is the main thing. So,
it's better than it was a week ago. Awesome. How about you, Mike? Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, very, very, very busy. But I found some time to play games. I finished Ape Escape. Currently playing Chrono Cross. Played a bit of Karushi or Intelligent Cube.
Oh yes. Oh, excellent. Oh, good man. How are you finding that?
And
difficult?
It's like. You play it after about 2 minutes. You're like, I get it now, but it's got trophy support, so I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Well, you got to do it now then.
John, you'll be happy about this. I was also played Ridge Racer Type 4.
Oh, good man, excellent. And what do we think? What do we think?
I actually genuinely thought it's actually really good.
Excellent.
Surprised by how smooth the controls was. I was shook when I saw that it actually had a story, and visually, it looks really good for the PS1, especially if you go back to the original.
Yeah, I mean, R4 was one of the latest games, wasn't it, on the PS1? Before
it's got a lot of personality, which a lot of
wacky races.
Wacky races. Amazing. Did you know? Apparently, they only made something like 13 episodes of Wacky Races. I don't know if that's the exact number. But yeah, they literally only made like 1.5 seasons of it. And then just repeated forever. Chat's all dropping in. Hello, everybody in chat. Hello, Kisra. Hello, WV. Hello, Vargarus, who's got a bad back and he's thrown their spine on the floor. Hello, Polycomical as well. Multi-greets to everybody here. We will be talking about platonic relationships in games as well. Don't worry about that. What have I been doing this week? I've been doing OLL planning stuff. I've been planning like the floor layout for OLL 26, 11th of April. Get your tickets now. And other than that, video games wise, I played the original Ridge Racer on my sim rig on Saturday night, and I got a platinum trophy. Only took about an hour to get a platinum trophy on that one for you, Mike. But the reason I played Ridge Racer at the weekend was because I was supposed to be doing a VR live stream on my other channel for the new Aces of Thunder, the VR World War II fighter pilot flight game. And while the game itself is incredible, the sensation of flight is brilliant, the vertigo was so real that I couldn't actually play it for more than an hour and I just had to stop, so I went and played Ridge Racer instead. Aside from that, we had our OLL February community meet on Friday where...
how did that go, by the way?
It was really good. Myself and Mike were there. We had a few regulars turn up as well. We recorded some...
Sorry I couldn't come there.
You're all good, mate. We recorded some short videos and some questions and bits and pieces for our short videos for YouTube. So you will see those coming up soon in the next couple of weeks once we get them added to our output. So that should be good fun. But aside from that, I've just been doing event stuff kind of behind the scenes, had a few meetings today, lined up a few more bits and pieces, so you will see some big announcements coming out in the next couple of weeks regarding our event. Whew. Right, I think that's the intro's done. Shall we get down to it in the nicest platonic way of meaning it? We're going to talk about the best romances in video games that we can think of, and chat, you're going to have to help us with this, because while Mike has very kindly provided a little cheat sheet for us with a list of well-known and well-received relationships in video games, we would like to get your input as well. So if there's any game relationship, character relationships that you would like us to talk about, drop them in the chat and we will go back to that at some point and we will get your opinions involved in the show as well. We're going to talk about our favourite relationships, our most memorable relationships in games, maybe ones that didn't work. Obviously, only talking in games, not real life. This isn't therapy. And we might also have a bit of a laugh and talk about our first video game crushes and the first game that we fell in love with. Would either of you chaps like to get us started with an example, or would you like me to go first?
You go first, John.
Well, all right then. Can I go for the obvious one then? Because when I think of relationships in games, I generally feel that it's not something that video games do very well. It has been done well, but only by a very small, select number of games, I think, have really pulled off romantic relationships and like story-wise in games successfully. But if there was to be probably one game that gave you options, if there was one game that let you have quite a lot of freedom when it comes to relationships and developing relationships beyond the scope of it just being a plot point, you'd have to say the obvious answer would be Mass Effect. Whereas, of course, you can start playing both as a male or a female, and then you can romanticize. Is that a word? I don't know.
Yes.
But basically, you can try and pull loads of different characters. Most of the main cast are indeed potential dates for you. And I think that's probably the game that I would most remember in terms of something where you can strike up relationships with people and like build on it as the game goes through. I think my shepherd had a romance with Tali, I think, in Mass Effect most of the time, but it was Liara in the first one. There was less options in the first game. Did you guys play Mass Effect? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
I have the Legendary Collection, and it's on my list of backlogged games that I want to play this year because I'm saving money. But it is on there because but there's a few games in the way. First, Clair Obscur, Witcher 3, and then Baldur's Gate.
I really envy you. I really envy you, Jack, because you've got all these incredible games still to look forward to.
It's because I was so shoehorned into this one game that I will not talk about because I talk about it so much in the past.
See if you can go a whole show without mentioning it, Jack. Try.
For 9 years of my life, that was the primary game for me.
Well, that's fine.
Fall back
Nothing wrong with that.
Like, there's so many games that I feel like I don't have the knowledge in, like Mass Effect, because of my toxic relationship with that game. So that's a relationship. I have a toxic relationship with a video game that's prevented me from playing more games.
It just won't let you out to see your friends.
No, I mean, my friends were in that relationship too, as well, at the time.
Yeah. And Mike, did you do Mass Effect? You've done Mass Effect, haven't you, Mike?
Oh yeah, 100%. I actually, as I've said this before, speaking of romance, I guess my first ever thing I did with my missus when I met her was give her a copy of all 3 Mass Effect games on the Xbox 360.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the first date with Megan, you did something game related, and then like you gave her all the Mass Effect games.
And she's absolutely obsessed with Mass Effect. But I absolutely love Mass Effect. I think one of the things that it really does. It's gonna sound really weird. I mean, I think people might argue it as a lack of player choice, but the fact that I kind of like that in Mass Effect, as opposed to some other games of romance, there's characters that have like specific like sexualities, like, oh, you can't romance that character because they're straight, or you can't romance that character because they're gay, stuff like that. And I kind of like it. It's almost like an extra wrinkle to like their what makes them that person. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's depth as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Like it makes that character them like there's a, without going too much into it, there's a character in Mass Effect 3 who's like a pilot. He's gay, and a big part of his character is his like him losing his like husband like years in the past. And you wouldn't have that if everyone had if everyone was essentially like bisexual, or like you could romance whoever no matter what what gender they are. I think it adds an extra like dynamic, I think, which makes it more interesting. I know Cyberpunk obviously has.
I was going to mention that.
The same thing where Cyberpunk has like you can't romance Judy if you're a guy because she's a lesbian, and I think it makes it more interesting. But like, you know, back to Mass Effect, I think some of those characters are just phenomenal. And I actually think sometimes romance options in games feel a little bit tacked on, but I feel like every time you romance a character in Mass Effect, you almost uncover another layer of their personality. You uncover like deeper into it. I mean, famously Jennifer Hale, she voices the female version of Shepard, and the last scene she has with Garrus, which was the probably the best romance in that game, to be honest. In the recording booth, she like burst into tears, and they're sort of, you can hear the broken like performance in the game because she was so touched by the performance that it actually affected her on an emotional level. And I think, especially, you know, you've got so many characters who live, characters who die, and it's like, you know, if you romance those characters that die, for example, it feels more like a tragic character arc for yourself. It doesn't feel like, oh, my romance has been thrown out the window because my character got killed off. It's Mass Effect is definitely the gold standard of how to do relationships in video games, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Mass Effect, an excellent example, of course. One game that I understand, and I'm going to have to profess that I don't really understand much about it because I haven't played the game. This is definitely one that I need to go on to, is of course Baldur's Gate 3. Which I understand is one of the best examples. I wish I knew more about that one to talk about it, if I was honest. But I don't think you...
You sleep with a bear.
You can sleep... What?
You sleep with a bear.
Oh, Mike, tell me more, Mike.
So now you're intrigued. No, you... It became quite viral, to be fair. So one of your companions is Halcyon, who is a druid. And he can turn into a bear. And there is an option, whilst being romantically involved, to get him to turn into a bear, and then and then fade to black. You know, you can connect the dots, but that's an option. I think Baldur's Gate, though, I think it does fall into the same sort of it has the same things that are positive about Mass Effect with Baldur's Gate. I think the romances are incredibly well done. And it does just benefit them. And you have to initiate a romance, you have to kind of obviously get the character to like you first. You have to say stuff that they agree with. It's not just like you can sleep with anyone. And interestingly, everyone has a weird sense of monogamy. Like there are some characters who like don't care. Like Halcyon. No, not only does he turn into a bear, but you can sleep with who he likes. He's like, yeah, I don't care. I'll be your side piece or whatever. But then you have other characters who like you try and sleep around, and they're like, nah, we're done. Like, get out of here. So everyone has like their own. Again, that's like another wrinkle to their personality.
Like 300 or 400 branching storylines and stuff. It's dialogue.
Ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about one of the best games of all time, obviously, with Baldur's Gate 3. But, like, yeah, the romances are phenomenal. I mean, for example, like a character like Lae'zel, she's a Githyanki, and Githyankis are notoriously, for lack of a better word, racist towards every other species. So if you're, like, not a Githyanki and you decide to romance her, you could always consider that almost like a character arc for her. Because not only is she growing to like other races, but she's also becoming romantically involved with one, and that's brought up in dialogue and things like that, you know. You really open her up as a character, and there's plenty of other examples across the other characters where you it adds more depth. So yeah, Baldur's Gate is also like the gold standard of romances.
Okay, so there really isn't many games where you have a lot of choice in it. There's a lot of games that like relationships just become part of the story, and it's not really something that you can change or effect. So, a question for you both then. Do you prefer... Well, first of all, do you care if a game features relationships or not? And if you do, would you prefer it to do it in a way such as these two games that we've just mentioned, Mass Effect and Baldur's Gate, where you have choices and where there's options and where it might affect stories or side quests or wherever? Or would you prefer a relationship story to be told kind of without your input, so to speak, as if it is just part of the main story? Do you have any sort of preference to that? Do you feel that you are more connected to those characters if you sort of make the choice to develop a relationship with them?
I think it depends on the writing ultimately, in my opinion. I think because certain games that I've played, there is relationships in it that, you know, are either platonic or romantic that are written really well. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was thinking about this, like platonic relationship. You look at Ellie and Joel, right? It's a father-daughter relationship, and you've got to praise Naughty Dog. The writing is really well done. You know, Joel's already got this thing in the prologue. You've got him with, I've forgotten her name.
His daughter.
His daughter, and then obviously Ellie becomes his new surrogate daughter, and you know the relationship builds, and you see them develop into this father-daughter relationship. And then Last of Us Part 2, obviously, spoiler guys, Joel dies. Obviously,
it's 10 years old. It's fine.
Yeah,
you got romance in The Last of Us too, as well.
And then
Dina and
of course,
her relationship with Ellie as well is a big part of the story.
Yeah, and so you know they're done really well. Like Dina is both a plot pusher, but also is involved in the plot. Because, like for example, the epilogue, you leave Dina to go hunt for Abby, and that affects their relationship, and you feel that because you spent time with Dina, you spent time with her and Ellie developing their romantic relationship, and then when Ellie goes against Dina's wishes, you know, you do feel for them. At least I did. Like, I was like, oh no, Ellie, no, don't stay with Dina. You know, like you do. I think if it's written well, and like same with Cyberpunk, like I actively wanted to pursue the relationships with these characters because the characters are written so well. And what I like about Cyberpunk, especially with the romantic relationship stuff, is like I was actively making sure that, because I wanted to pursue it, the choices I was making were the right ones. Because, you know, if you say the wrong dialogue option, it then doesn't put forward the relationship in the game. Like, as for example, male V, if you don't say the right thing to Panem, then she won't like fancy you. It'll still be, you know, you still get the similar dialogue choices, but they're more platonic now rather than romantic. Same with female V as Judy, who is like I like that you can still experience those plot points as either character, even though the character is non-romanceable to that other gender, because it's written so well that if they do like you, you know, there's different dialogue options or different tweaks in the writing depending on orientation and if they are with you. And I think that's really, really unique. I think good writing, whether it's your input or not, I think makes a good relationship in a video game, whether it's platonic or not platonic, or, you know, I think bad writing, bad relationships regardless. Because some people are like, oh, they're with them because it's like, you know, you got these standard tropes, whereas the writing in the Naughty Dog games and CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk is done so well that I think that's why they're relationships that I really remember well.
I mean, there's plenty of games that don't do it very well too, for sure. I think a good example where a game simply really shouldn't have relationships as part of it. I'm going to give an obvious example here, Sonic 06, because nobody cares for that in a Sonic the Hedgehog story. It doesn't fit with any previous lore that's come before it, and it just felt that they were just trying to do another angle, and it was just very, very, very badly done. But then you look at other things like, just trying to think of other titles. You've obviously got Uncharted. To you, just to look at your little list that you've given us there, Mike. Uncharted, Nathan and Elena. Did it really need to have a subplot about their relationship and how he's always doing dangerous stuff and all that kind of stuff? I felt that was a bit unnecessary, really, for the type of game that it was. It didn't.
I think it worked in the end, though. I think.
Yeah, it didn't make the game any better for me, though. I didn't enjoy the game anymore because they put an emotional, a romantic part to it. Kisra didn't see 06 as a romance. Well, okay.
They kissed at the end. What are you on about? They hadn't even had a kiss.
True.
They had a full-on, like...
The game.
But that's the point, is that it did that weird thing, and it's like, you don't need to do that. It doesn't make the game any better, does it? But, yeah.
What about Skyrim? Skyrim's romances are terrible. It's hey, can you give me this mammoth tusk? You go, all right.
I've bought a house, now give me wife. I have house.
I see you're wearing your marriage amulet around your neck. Shall we get married? Yes, okay. All right, let's get married.
And then all they do is just follow you about and get killed. And that's it. And then they go home.
And they just sit,
it doesn't do anything,
sit
does it?
at your house and eat bread for like the rest of the game. It's just so tacked on. It's so bad. I think Fallout's better for not having... I mean, I know Fallout 4 had romances, which I also don't think were great. But I think Bethesda has really boring, like, kind of one-note romances, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't. I'm just trying to think of any examples in any Bethesda stuff I've played, and no, not really. I can think of an example of a game I think has a really good romance, which nobody's going to mention. Go on.
Because nobody's played it. First I was want to, for at least my brain, I want to say Final Fantasy 9. Zidane and Dagger, they have that giant like emotional hook like right before the credits roll, which is just a encapsulation of their relationship, which was done beautifully. Makes me very sad, very emotional whenever I see it. But one game that no one's going to mention, Dragon Quest V. So in that game, you start off as a child and you end the game as a dad. So over the course of the game, you get older. So one of the elements of the game is you have these 3 romance options. One's like a childhood friend, one's like someone that you've not long met, and then there's like another one. But interestingly enough, not only obviously romance them, and they have loads of different...
Mike's gone.
Different dialogue, but you grow up and you get married and you have kids, and your kids, the color of your kids' hair is like different color depending on who you decide to marry. And the hero, the chosen one, you just assume it's you, but the chosen one is actually your son. Okay. So cool. It's this brilliant story of like I said, starting as a child and then ending the story literally fighting, Satan or whoever you fight, like as a family with your wife and your kids. And it was just this beautiful story that encapsulates romance and family and togetherness. And I think it worked out really well.
I think in general, Final Fantasy does relationships really well. I thought I would at least make it to the second half of the show before I mention Final Fantasy 7. So I'm going to hold off for 5 minutes on that and talk about Final Fantasy 8 instead, as that's quite a Squall and what's the name, Rinoa. Their relationship takes the whole sort of length of the game before you really sort of get to the point of realizing, they are, they want to be together and all that kind of stuff when they're on the Ragnarok and everything. But I like a game where it's not necessarily front and center, but you just kind of know it's there and it builds very gradually in the background. And then it's a nice payoff when you realize, there was actually something going on. And of course, Final Fantasy VII, the triangle, if indeed it exists, between Cloud and Tifa and Aerith. And you generally, I was too young to really sort of appreciate it, I think, at the time when I first played FF7. But still, I think the game would lose something if it didn't have that will they, won't they, who does Cloud like, what's he doing, he's like literally the worst guy in the world, he's got every chance and doesn't seem to take any of his chances throughout the entire course of the game. And like as a player, you can sort of lean more towards Tifa or Aerith, or indeed Barrett, but I don't think really anyone knew that Barrett was really even an option to go on a date with until the internet came along. As the chances of getting it are so rare. But for me, I think your relationship that you have, if we don't talk about something romantic, if you talk about just a platonic relationship or just caring for somebody, the relationship between Cloud and Aerith is probably one of my favourites in... Well, it probably is just my favourite in all of games. And of course, that's wrenched away from you. And made it the most impactful moment of all of games for me. I don't know if anyone else had that same impact as well, but
are you Team Aerith then, John? Are you Team Aerith?
If I was going to say, I'm going to say originally back in 1997, I was Team Aerith all the way, 100% Aerith until the end of Disc 1, and then literally my entire life fell apart. But then after that point, you then grow closer to Tifa, don't you? It kind of works. It kind of works with both of them. But I would say always Aerith over Tifa.
Got an example for like platonic relationships that's just popped into my head. I was thinking about ones that resonate with you. So it's another Sony first party game, but it's the relationship between Peter Parker and Otto Octavius in the first Marvel Spider-Man game.
Oh yeah,
like,
okay.
What I like is that you know he's going to be Doc Ock, because obviously everybody does, but Insomniac did a really good job of showing their budding friendship and their relationship of like mentor and mentee, and how it was ripped apart by something so small yet so impactful to them. And there's a really, really like brilliant line where Peter's like saying, he says, "You're everything that I wanted to be," and you threw it away. And I thought that was really, at least to me, really powerful, because it's a really emotional scene delivered brilliantly by Yuri Lowenthal, who is a brilliant voice actor. And I think that's a platonic relationship that I think's done really well in a video game that I really love as well. And it's just, even though you know the origins of this character and what this character becomes, the way it's written and delivered is so well done that you do. I was disappointed and sad, like, oh my god, he's Doc Ock now, and even though it's part of the story, but it's just because it was done so well. I think that's what I've noticed a theme with myself tonight, is that when relationships are done well, I really resonate with them. And I'm looking at our notes, and Mike mentioned in our notes about It Takes Two, and there's a thing about relationships with our real female companions. And It Takes Two, Cody and May, I love that whole game. No wonder it won Game of the Year. I think It Takes Two is such another brilliant way of depicting a relationship, because obviously at the start these two are, they wanted to get divorced, they're disappointed, they're annoyed at each other, and you root for them. The whole time Molly and I were playing it, we were like, I at least was hoping that they'd get back together, and they had the daughter as well, so that was a relationship in there. And just the whole time playing it, and it was just really lovely to see at the end. I think I cheered at the end of the game.
There's a lot of games where there is some peril in that a character dies or for whatever reason changes to a point where the relationship comes to an end. So just thinking of some examples, obviously Aerith would be one, of course. You've got, as pretty much everyone has been shouting in the chat for the last half an hour, Tidus and Yuna, Final Fantasy X. And then Dom in Gears of War, and his wife as well.
Oh, yes.
That's horrific. Probably one of the saddest relationships.
Gears of War is like literally the most macho dude bro flipping meathead game going, isn't it? Yet somehow Okay, one of.
Call of Duty's probably got that title now.
Fair play, but still, the point of it, it's big burly men with big, massive guns killing with monsters, and, ultra violence and whatever. Yet one of the best plot points of the game is Dom and his wife, and yeah, it is probably one of the most memorable parts of that trilogy of games, I would say. You know what? I need to go back and play more Gears of War. I did. Did I do Judgment? I got turned off by Gears of War when Judgment came along, and it was a bit average. But then I never played Gears of War 4. Can anybody tell me? Sorry to go off on a slight tangent. Is Gears of War 4 good? Should I play Gears of War 4, or should I do the remaster of Gears 1?
Or don't do the remaster. My brother-in-law...
Was it bad?
We went to Lord of the Rings. He said it's terrible.
Really? Oh, no.
Yeah, don't...
Why? Is it broken or something?
No, it's just... It was done really poorly. Like, it's a poor, port and a remaster. But he said there's, on PC, there's, a free fan-made server for the multiplayer where they put, in Gears 3 all the original maps. But I'd say skip the remake or remaster, because apparently it's absolute, dreadful.
All right, fine. I might just go with number 4 then. I just want to shout out Kisra in the chat, because that is probably one of the best examples, actually. Master Chief and Cortana. Because I can't remember which one it is. I think it must be 5, where the whole plot of the game is that Cortana's code is kind of breaking down and expiring, and that's 4, is it? Oh yeah, because
5's the one where she turns evil.
Yeah. And then we've got Infinite. But yeah, I think the whole Cortana story arc, I think, considering that story has now been going for 25 years, that must be probably one of the best examples of an AI love interest type story that's been done really well. Certainly better than... Yeah, I love it. I think Cortana's a fantastic character.
Halo 4, I played a lot around a friend's house, and I really liked the story. I'd not played any other Halos apart from Reach, that we played the multiplayer and just played Forge mode. Mm-hmm. And then, Halo 4, we played the campaign loads, and it was really, really well done. I really liked it. I'd never played the other Halos, and I was like, oh my god, I feel for Master Chief and Cortana. And I was 12.
It's like when Master Chief is going off on this mission to save her when he knows that he really shouldn't, and stuff like that. And it gave the Chief a lot more character as well, from just being this one-dimensional space marine guy. So good shout, Kisra. Good shout. And we get a new Cortana the way that the story develops. Yes, indeed. Excellent.
I'll tell you one relationship that's definitely interesting.
Go on in.
Silent Hill 2. Now, Silent Hill 2, the premise is basically that this guy, James, goes to Silent Hill looking for his wife. And to be honest, it's not one I can... The game is so hinged on the twists, but I can't really get into it. Yeah. But just in case anyone hasn't played it. Have you played it, John?
I have not. Not...
Okay.
In fact, no. I've only, slight confession again, I've only played the first Silent Hill. I never played Silent Hill 2.
Because Silent Hill 2, the reason I won't say anything is because it's genuinely a masterpiece. It's one of the best games, best narratives ever made. And it was very much, it's a standalone game, but it's very much hinged on the relationship between James and his wife. And there's a time where his wife is sick, and Silent Hill manifests the thoughts and feelings he has whilst he's been dealing with a sick wife. So the twisted sexual nurses in the town is a manifestation of his depravity from having to be sad and depressed, dealing with his wife being sick and not being able to get out and being constantly felt like he has these needs and desires that aren't being met because his wife's sick. And it's other elements of Silent Hill, the fear and that is the creatures around him, because that's what Silent Hill is. For those who don't know, is Silent Hill literally twists the town dependent on your own fears and thoughts and desires and things like that. And the way you learn more about their relationship just based on not only the environmental storytelling, but also certain characters that come up in the story. It's like I said, it's really hard to talk about just because of the twists and turns. But it's not a healthy relationship or a happy relationship, but it is a relationship that is a crux of the story, and it's like I said, it's a masterpiece of a game that everyone should play. And even if you don't want to play it, I mean, the voice performances in the remake are nothing compared to the original. But even if it's just a case of watching a playthrough on YouTube or something, I think like I said, Silent Hill 2 is an incredible game, phenomenal.
Okay, my next question. In fact, no, we'll go through a couple more good examples. One of the longest standing relationships between two characters, Zelda and Link, or Link and Zelda, and that's a relationship that changes a little bit between different games.
It's hit or miss. Every Zelda and Link is a different Zelda and Link.
But they always kind of, even if the stories don't necessarily relate to each other, as a player, of course, you still have those experiences which you take into another
Skyward
game.
Sword is very on the nose with their relationship, but other games kind of ebb and flow. I never got any romantic tension in, say, Ocarina of Time or any of the, like, A Link to the Past or anything like that. But yeah, Skyward Sword was really on the nose with it. Breath of the Wild, you could also say maybe there's some romantic tension. So it does go, game to game. But I think it's a relationship that everyone wants to see. We haven't really seen it fully play out. I kind of feel like we're overdue for it, to be honest, at this point. But yeah, I feel like
Nintendo aren't going to change any of that, though, are they? Okay. Here's a question, just to change our subject just a little bit. Do you, gentlemen, play video games with your significant other? And if so, what do you play?
Molly and I have played It Takes Two. We platinumed that. That was really fun. Loved that platinum. I've attempted to get Molly into a few games. Recently, we've been playing Fortnite quite a lot. And she's really good at it now. Like when she first started playing it, I was like carrying quite a lot, but now it's very much a which I really like. It's a very co-op, like we both at the same level, and it's really fun. Like the other night we spent, I think, when Zachary was in bed, about 2 hours playing Fortnite. It was great. It's just fun. It's just nice because I've always like tried to get her into video games, and there's been a few where she's liked them and some where she hasn't. It's nice to have a game where we can both just sit down and just turn your brain off and just enjoy each other's company. And yeah, it's nice to, and I think it's like the what's the developer of It Takes Two?
Hazelight
Games. Like we started playing The Way Out as well.
That massively overconfident dude.
But I really want to play Split Fiction because I think co-op games like that, and it's good that Fortnite has a co-op option. Because I got one of my mates from work and his wife to play it with us. We did like a duos thing, and it was great, or like a squad. It was just, I think, playing video games with your significant other, whether it's easy or not. We like playing. Molly suggested we get this Crossy Road Castle. And it was this really stupid platformer that was actually quite fun. And I think it's just nice because, you get to do a hobby with the person that you care about the most, It's really nice. And I think that's what some of the moments I treasure is when we sit down and play video games together or do anything video game related. So that's Hazelight Games, Fortnite, attempted the Toxic game. That's fair, she didn't play it. Minecraft, we're getting there. But Fortnite, it's nice because it's a game that I really enjoy as well. And we just have fun and it's great. It's really nice. That's me.
How about you, Mike?
I would say that video games is arguably a core aspect of our relationship. I think we both have grown up playing games. She grew up with Nintendo stuff more so. I grew up with PlayStation. And we are constantly searching for things to do together. Like obviously we just watched the Fallout show together, but we're also been playing like Borderlands 4. We've played through every single Borderlands game together. We've played all the Hazelight games. She's watched me play some games. Like she's watched me play the first 3 Metal Gear Solids, which she absolutely loved. She watched me play The Last of Us because she wasn't quite up for playing it. There's so many games, and she's been begging me at the minute to play Terraria with her, which I will at some point. But I just it's just a bit of a mission. But it's just like, obviously, as I said, when we first met, I gave her a copy of Mass Effect, which is like her favorite franchise of all time now. Now she's playing through the Yakuza series, which she also adores, and it's part of our, it's a gift that keeps on giving, like our relationship. Like it's always something to talk about, it's always something to get excited about, it's something that we share, it's something that's always evolving and getting, it's an interest that's getting deeper the more games we play, either together or apart. And it's just it genuinely, you know, when you haven't got enough money or time to like leave the house, you can't really do anything, you can't go on holidays, you can't, you know, do this, that or the other, you know, being able to share that with each other is one of the highlights, genuinely the highlights of my life. And the fact that I can build up Crash Bandicoot on my PlayStation, on the PlayStation 1, and now my son's trying to kidnap the controllers, you know. I put on Crash Team Racing yesterday, and he doesn't, obviously can't play, he's only 1.5, but like he was on the controller, and when he was holding the acceleration button, every time the car went forward, he'd just go, whoa! It's like,
that's what I'm excited for when Zachary gets a bit older, and like I'm playing games in front of him, well, with him, and like I hope he does get into them, because I think video games, if we're talking about relationships as well, video games is a relationship to some people. For me, it's like it's a hobby, but because I've spent pretty much every waking year that I can remember playing a video game of some form, and you know, like Mike said, I 100% echo everything you've said, Mike. Video games and playing video games with Molly is such a wonderful experience for me, because I get to share something that I truly adore with someone who I truly adore. You know, it's nice.
Well, yeah, you're so ingrained in video. We're all so ingrained in video games that it becomes like almost a part of your personality.
Exactly.
And it does feel like genuinely, like Megan was really excited to show me all the GameCube games she grew up with, and she was excited to show me like, or you know, she was basically the reason I played anything Nintendo, because I was all gung ho for PlayStation. Also, I think it's like party relationship, you know.
Molly told me about RoboCod. I never knew what RoboCod was until she mentioned it. Apparently her and her sister used to play. So I think when that RoboCod quiz question came up in the retro thing, I was like, I know what that is, because my fiance told me about it. Like we literally, I remember
that's the highlight of your relationship is, as a result of it, you got a quiz question correct in the OLL quiz.
It's not that, it's just, I remember Molly really wanted to play it, and it came out on the Switch, and we literally drove to the Asda near Helston, and we bought the Switch cartridge for it, just for RoboCod. It was so funny. But that's one of the memories. Yeah, there's so many fun memories with video games, especially like the Hazelight games. Yeah, it's just, I think. But enough about me and Mike's relationships and video games. What about you?
What about you, John?
What about me? Before we get to me, let me just quickly check in with the chat, as I haven't really spoken to anybody. It looks like Flubster doesn't play many games because they value their controller, but Tetris Effect Connected is about the only game they play together, if you don't count logging into profiles on the Switch to add stuff to the Animal Crossing island. Emily is demanding that we play Hamtaro together. Because that's obviously a game. What is it? Ham Heartbreak? I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak. I have been shown videos and informed that at some point we will be playing it. We did try Overcooked once a few years ago. That's never going to happen again. Sorry, Kizra, but the Overcooked Emily and John live stream has already happened in this lifetime. I can't guarantee that is going to happen again. But yeah, when it comes to how Emily and I play, we don't really ever play anything together. Or if we do, it's very, very rare, or it tends to only be for like a live stream every now and again. Emily plays a lot of handheld stuff. I mean, she's doing Heartopia at the moment. But basically, if it's a game where you build a farm, or you build a town, or you build a garden, or you build a thing, or if it's got animals in it, then Emily's all over it, and it's usually a handheld game. Whereas I tend to go for the more basic big blockbuster titles on the big telly. But yeah, typically Emily's not really a fan of sort of like your big AAA, big tentpole titles in the same way that I am. So quite often it'll be a case of I'll play and she'll be on the handheld doing something separate, but it's quite rare that we actually play anything together, really. But kind of to echo what you were saying, it is so ingrained in what we do and what we do for our jobs and stuff. I literally run a gaming events business for a living and do YouTube driving games. Emily's got her channels and stuff, and I first met Emily at a Nintendo Norwich meet. If it wasn't for OLL, then I wouldn't be here in my nice home and whatnot, all that kind of stuff. So I'm very appreciative of that, but I think we just accept that we don't always like the same types of games, and that's totally fine. And we'll oh wait, hang on, we're getting direct comms here. It's because her anger and frustration levels with games spike. Emily did try Elden Ring for half an hour, got too mad and bitter. Yes, anyone who has seen Emily on a live stream, the potty mouth does come out quite regularly, despite intentions to do the other. However, we are thinking of doing a live stream at some point, which is something I actually need to speak to you chaps about, because I'd like to perhaps do some sort of a supporting live stream for our friends at Arcade Glasgow. So we're going to work out a plan on that, and you will indeed get a live stream coming from Emily or Emily and me playing something TBC in the very near future at some point in February, probably in the next couple of weeks or so. But yeah, it's weird because like our whole lives around it, and like every room of our house has got something video game related in it predominantly. But we generally don't really play many games actually together, which is kind of strange, but it's fine.
Are you in the same room?
Yeah, in the same room. Like I'll play something on the PS5 or whatever, and Emily will sit there on the Switch or the Steam Deck or whatever.
Nice. The same thing happens with me and Megan though. Like she'll play like Terraria or whatever she's playing on the laptop, and I'll play something on the PlayStation. It's just you kind of bounce off it. I mean, the only reason she even wanted to play the Yakuza games is because she saw me play them just as we were sitting together. So now she's gone down a bit of a rabbit hole. So it's I think it's still fun, like playing games, and then you get sort of like compare notes as well. It's like, oh, I've done this in my game, and it's like, oh no, I've done this in this game. It's kind of I don't know. It's one of the strengths of a good relationship, I think, is being able to do completely different things and occupy the same space, but still just enjoy like sitting in it. If you know what I mean, like sitting in the same space. You don't have to be necessarily doing things together all the time to enjoy yourselves.
Recently, Molly's been playing Fortnite, and I've been editing, and she's like, "Oh, look at this kill!" And it's been really nice to sort of share that space with her, do the editing, and then watch her play a game that I spent ridiculous amount of hours during uni on, and like and watch her get so like excited and pleased. That's really nice to see. I don't know if you'll echo this, Mike, and John, I guess, but watching your significant other find joy in something that you have already found joy in, I think that for me is really, really nice.
I've never experienced it, mate, because to be fair, in all fairness to Emily, she tried Final Fantasy VII, hated it. She tried Mass Effect, gave up after about 6 hours. And anything that I've recommended, she's given it a go, but hasn't always enjoyed it. But that's all Fine. Right. So we need to move on. So we're gonna do one last question for ourselves real quick before we start to bring things to a close. You did try GT7, and Emily hated Gran Turismo 7 because the brake pedal was too stiff and she hurt her foot on it. So you hurt your foot playing Gran Turismo. Mike had a go on Gran Turismo actually this week. You came round to pick up. Came round to pick up a USB thing. What did you think of Gran Turismo in the VR, Mike? Be honest.
Yeah.
Now that you're no longer in the same room as me, you can be honest about
it. No, it's like it's cool. It's like best way I can describe it is I wish I cared. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can. It's one of those things where you're playing it. I mean, I think the headset's like awful. You have to like the amount of precision you have to get to make it not a blurry mess. It takes a while to dial it in. It's ridiculous. But like in terms of the like, I found it like I can see why someone would think it was incredible. But as I've said, you've got to like the subject matter. Okay. I like when it comes to racing games. I like the bombastic, slam the brake, do a drift around a corner, like the Fast and Furious type, just insanity of.
I'm going to find you an alternative for next time. Right,
realistic stuff.
Last question then, Jack. What was the first video game that you fell in love with?
Oh crikey! Oh bloody hell! That's a big question.
I can come back to you if you want. Wacky Races.
Yeah, come back to me, please.
All right.
Anything
for you, Mike?
This.
Yeah, I mean, I've said many times before, I was like a basic kid. I played all the games that everyone else played, Call of Duty and all the boring ones. But the first game that really changed blew my mind and changed basically my whole trajectory in terms of what kind of games I played was Skyrim when that came out.
Wow. That makes me feel so old.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Skyrim was just like yesterday like for me. That's modern.
I spent so much of my life playing. I genuinely think I only really properly got into decent games when I was like 16, and I only really properly went on a deep spiral into playing everything at 18. So it's like Skyrim was very late for me, but Skyrim was definitely one that I'd never played an open world game before. I'd never played an RPG before. I dabbled in some stuff like Just Cause 2, or I'd played I think a few Assassin's Creeds at that point. Yeah. But like Skyrim, the amount of options you could do in Skyrim genuinely blew me away at the time. I think my opinion on Skyrim's definitely lessened over the years, but I'll never forget just how it felt like coming out of the Matrix. It felt like It felt like when Dorothy comes out of the house and it's all color. I was like, this is what gaming could be. You know what I mean? Like it really like opened up the floodgates.
It's more to the world.
Was exactly, and like I said, I've been going down that rabbit hole ever since, and I've played too many games at this point. I think Skyrim's part of the reason because of that.
WV first fell in love with the C64 game Donald Duck's Playground. I don't think I ever played that one. That's quite an old game. For me, it was the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It was seeing the original Sonic the Hedgehog on the Mega Drive that really made me want to get my first console, which prompted me to go and pick up a Master System. So for me, yeah, quite a boring answer, but it was just the original Sonic. That's what I fell in love with. Vargas had the same thing with Morrowind. Yes, very good. Let us know what it is. So, yeah, there we go. That was us. I think we did.
My answer.
Did you? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we never came back to you. Sorry, Jack. Sorry. Go on.
I was thinking about it. Probably Batman Arkham City, because it was one Arkham Bingo, guys.
Go on. It's fine. It's fine.
It's all right. John said Final Fantasy. You've got.
Yeah, I can't not say it. Really, can I?
I think Arkham City, just because I remember I'm so fond of the Arkham series in general, but that was the first one I played. I remember buying it, and my mum was there because I was a bit too young to buy it, and I was in Sainsbury's I think the one in Longwater, and I bought it, and mum was like, "Yes, it's fine, he can buy it," to the cashier, and I think I think it was the first proper game that I properly remember really, really, really enjoying, and I would say Transformers games, but I love them regardless whether I fell in love with them first or last or whatever. But I think Arkham City, it really introduced me into like more single player games and like other, because I was playing quite a lot of Lego games as well, but who doesn't love the Lego games? But yeah, I remember Arkham City very fondly, and I just loved the experience I played with that the first time. And then it got me into the other Arkham games, and I played the hell out of them. I think the Arkham series is one of the gaming series that I've played probably the most. I think it is top 3 series I've played the most of video games that I've played. I think I've played each Arkham game at least 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
Like, that's how much that series means to me. Even though I know the stories, I know the combat, I think because they're so brilliant. I know, Cheney, I know. I love Transformers. They are brilliant games, but they're not the first. I played Arkham City before I played Transformers.
Did you play Autobots and Decepticons on the DS though, Jack?
I did, and it was not fun for anyone really. They're so dumb.
It's funny because me and Jack are from the same era, so I also rinsed Arkham City especially, and had dabbled in Transformers, but not quite as obsessive as Jack.
Then the Cybertron games, but
I played Arkham Asylum probably like 3-4 times, whereas City I've probably played about 15 times.
Yeah, City I've played the most, and then it goes Night, then Origins, and then Asylum, I think. But yeah, just the Arkham series as a whole is a game series that I love. I think it's done so well.
Yeah. Excellent. Kisra also seconds Sonic the Hedgehog, but the Master System version. I love that too. And as much as I love Master System Sonic, it wasn't the one that got me into gaming, despite it being the first one I had. Morrowind a close second as well. Cheney will let us know, I'm sure. Oblivion, another good shout there. Brilliant. Right, we've got a couple last things just to finish off with. Mike, do you have any poll results from us from last week?
Yes, so on the polls, I asked what was the best Final Fantasy on the PlayStation 1. So there is 4 options. I guess you could say 5 if you count Chocobo Racing, but I didn't. There's Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, and Final Fantasy Tactics. So, big surprise, the game that won by a landslide was
Chocobo Racing. Of course it was.
With
excellent
second place being Final Fantasy 9, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the one that everyone's played. It's the one that was the first. It was the one that was the most popular. So like I can't say I'm surprised
Quite
at all.
Understandable. Keep a lookout. Cheney, you were getting
the Final Fantasy streams. I am tempted to play Final Fantasy 7 myself.
You should definitely give it a try, Jack. And when you're ready, just come and see me. I'll sort you out. I've got. Oh wait, no. It was Rebirth that I gave to you, Mike, wasn't it? We'll sort you out. Don't you worry, Jack.
I think I've got the remake on PlayStation. I think they released it as a free game at one point.
It did go on PS Plus for a very short while.
And I did get it. So I do have the remake, the first part.
Well, I think you should do the original first. We'll work it out when the time comes. Right, Emily, for Emily's first game that she loved was Pokemon Blue. Cheney, you were going to tell us what game you first fell in love with, but don't worry if you're no longer there. It's all good. Anyway, there will be a new poll coming in the next day or so into our Discord and on our online channels. If you are not yet in our Discord, there is a link right here in the chat, or indeed if you're not watching live, click on the channel thing and it'll all be in there with all of our social links. Come and join the chat, come and speak to us directly, ask us questions, tell us what you think, come and answer our polls so we can get to know you as much as you can get to know us. On top of that, I don't really have any OLL 26 news today to share, but I can tell you that there will be some exciting news coming next week, where next week I am going to be revealing in full what our stage schedule is for the entire day. Who we've got, who's going to be on the stage, who's doing what times they're on, and what the general structure of the event's all going to be. If you haven't yet done so, you can get your tickets for OLL 26 again on the link that's just come up, or indeed, if you're not watching live, just come and visit any of our channels. You'll be able to find it there, and you'll be able to see exactly what is going on. This is probably going to be, I think, our best event that we have done yet, and I cannot wait to see you all in. Oh my god, it is literally now 2 months and 2 months and 2 days away. It's suddenly come up really quick, which has now really focused me to think, crikey, I need to start doing some stuff. So today I've been doing meetings and doing floor plans and all that kind of stuff, but I'm looking forward to sharing a bit more news with that. Cheney says Donkey Kong 64 is of course the game that made them fall in love with gaming. Quite on, I don't even know why I needed to ask Cheney. I already knew that, didn't I? But yeah, that's it. That is our Valentine's special. I think for 3 white men, we've done a reasonably good job at getting through that. So thank you.
I think it was quite mushy. And
it all got quite emotional at some point. Right.
I think we were all quite. We let the macho down this stream.
That's why I've got to go and play Gears of War now.
Yeah.
I'm not macho at all.
I got to go punch a tree or something.
Right. Thank you very much to Jack for joining. Cheers, Jack. Thank you, mate. And thank you very much to Mike for joining as well, and thank you for putting together that list of talking points for us as well. Much appreciated. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. I'm not going to read all of your names because there's loads of people in there tonight. Thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of your Monday evening with us. I will be back live streaming on Wednesday evening this week with Final Fantasy VII New Threat plus the mods. We are at the Temple of the Ancients at the moment. We tried to complete it last week, but we didn't quite get there because there was only one stream last week because we had the OLL community meet. But I'll be streaming on the Wednesday and Friday evenings, 7:30 on this very channel here for some more Final Fantasy. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. We'll see you all very soon. If not next show, then certainly on the Discord anytime. I will be doing probably a live chat on the Discord for the PlayStation State of Play, which I believe is 10 PM this coming Thursday, the 12th of February, because fingers crossed we might get some Final Fantasy VII news. It's hopeful, but you never know. You never know. Anyway, right, we're going to get going. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, chaps. I will see you all soon. Take care. We'll